This is a second stimulus check update. In this video, I'll go over the new bill that was just introduced to help Americans who are struggling to pay rent, what Senate Republicans are saying about the second stimulus check, as well as some other updates. Let's get right into it. So last week, President Trump said that there would be another stimulus and that it would be very generous. And when asked when it would be announced or when it would happen, he said 2 weeks. So with that timeline, it puts it at July 7th. Also, President Trump told his aides that he is largely supportive of sending Americans another round of stimulus checks, expressing the belief that payment will boost the economy and help his chances at re-election in November. Which is smart of President Trump. He knows that if he gives people money, people will be happy, it'll help the economy. Also, people will probably re-elect him because they're happy that they got more money. At the time of filming this video, President Trump is behind in the polls. Therefore, in my opinion, if it was up to President Trump to give out the second stimulus checks, people would have already had it already. So with President Trump on board with second stimulus checks, the Democrats on board with second stimulus checks, it makes us wonder, with all the mounting evidence that Americans need second stimulus checks, why hasn't it come yet? Well, a few days ago, Senator Inhofe, he said that the second stimulus check is going to happen. It's just not going to happen yet. So the other day there was a GOP lunch and he said the idea of a second stimulus check fueled 2 hours of discussion at the lunch. So in my opinion, why would they talk about the second stimulus for 2 hours if it wasn't going to happen? In my opinion, I think they are planning on having a second stimulus check, just working out the details. And he says what you don't want to do is have a reward given to people who don't want to work. Now this last statement is very ironic. Don't give a reward to people who don't work. Senators were elected to help the American people. Senators were elected to work for the American people. If senators are not working for the American people, does that mean that they should not have a reward? If they're not helping out the American people, does that mean that they should not get their $174,000 salary? If they're going to take a vacation 1 to 2 weeks every single month, does that mean that they should not get paid to go on vacation? I just find it hypocritical that you don't want to give a reward to someone who doesn't work, but yet all these senators are getting six-figure salaries and not helping the American people. Over 47 million people have filed unemployment claims, and almost 40% of the people who make under $40,000 per year have lost their jobs, according to the Federal Reserve. So I feel like the Senate Republicans make it seem like the Americans are just a bunch of moochers who just want free money, pretending like that millions of Americans were forced to not work, forced to be unemployed, and millions of Americans have permanently lost their jobs. Having states shut down and businesses shut down was not a choice by the American people. The American people wanted to work, wanted to collect their income, but a $1,200 check was given to them, which barely covers a month of bills. But yet months go by of this shutdown and there's no aid given to those Americans. And now the Senate Republicans make it seem like the Americans are just asking for handouts, not struggling, not choosing to get a job or go back to work into a safe environment. They're completely delusional. And according to Fox Business, in regards to the first stimulus check, an estimated 30 million people were unable to receive the stimulus money because of eligibility rules. And that includes 15 million dependents who are over the age of 17 who are claimed by their families as dependents. So that means 15 million people who were adults working, could have been providing for their families, they did not receive that $1,200 stimulus check because they were claimed as a dependent. And in just a few days, senators will go on another vacation. This time it's 3 weeks. And in my opinion, I think their vacations should be unpaid. Let me know if you agree with me down below. But they're going on another vacation and wondering where they're going to sleep. They're going to sleep in a hotel, or are they going to sleep in their vacation house or their yacht? Meanwhile, millions of Americans fear eviction and wondering where they're going to sleep. Are they going to sleep in a homeless shelter, family or friend's house, a tent on the street? Under the CARES Act, there were moratoriums to delay the eviction process, which expire July 1st. Some states have extended this moratorium, but many have not. Therefore, July 1st could be a time when a lot of people start having evictions. So according to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, it's up 37%, the evictions. In North Carolina, there's a 9,000 case backlog of evictions from June 21st. Michigan has 75,000 evictions that will be filed. New York City alone, estimated 50,000 evictions that will be filed. But yet the government is not doing enough to help these families. It's not like all of a sudden the families say, hey, I don't feel like living in my place anymore. Let's have an eviction, pack our bags, and let's go somewhere else to live. They want to stay in their house. They want to stay with their family. They don't want to live in a homeless shelter. And according to The Hill, a lot of research shows that it's an incredibly destabilizing thing for a family to go through eviction, and they often never recover. They remain in poverty. So once someone is evicted, it stays on their record. Every time they try to get a new place to rent, the landlord sees that they were evicted and might not want to let them stay in their place again. So it's almost similar to a convicted felon. Every time that a convicted felon submits a job application, they have to check the box that they're a convicted felon for the rest of their life. It stays with them. Fortunately, yesterday, Elizabeth Warren introduces a bill for the nationwide eviction moratorium. So in this bill, well, just to give some background, about 20% of households saw at least one household member lose a job within the past 2 months, according to Urban Institute. And so Warren's bill will protect renters from Evictions and Fees Act and extends those protections for an additional 8 months and would extend benefits for almost all renters. And landlords would not be allowed to charge fees for renters who do not pay and would require a 30-day eviction notice after the moratorium ends. Also, under the CARES Act for federally backed housing, federally assisted housing, it's set to expire July 25th. Elizabeth Warren says renters who have lost their job or had their income reduced shouldn't have to fear losing their homes in the middle of a pandemic. Housing is a human right and an absolute necessity to keep families safe during this crisis, and Congress must step in now to help keep people in their homes. So this is the bill right here. Personally, I haven't read it. I hope it's pure and genuine as she proposes and that it helps American families. And if you're looking for a free money opportunity, if you sign up through Webull down in the description below, you get a free stock just for signing up. You get a second free stock if you deposit $100 into the account, which could be valued up to $1,400. If you want a third free stock, you can sign up through Robinhood. And basically, you get these stocks, you could sell them, and then put the money into your bank account. And if you want to learn exactly how to open up a Robinhood account to get that free stock as well as buy your first stock, you could click this video over here. It's a tutorial where I walk you through the entire process of downloading the app, opening it up, buying your first stock. It's on my second channel, Wise Sense. On that channel, I teach wise money tips to build a wealthy future. Thank you for watching.